Okay, welcome back, Cats in Camo. We are on the range with the High Point carbine. The last episode we ended shooting paper. We're starting this episode with the steel set. I get to go first instead of Allie. Anyway, what we're gonna do is this. I have 10 rounds in our goofy looking but really effective Red Ball magazine. We have 10 rounds in the High Point. We have a torso on the left. We're gonna double tap that torso. And then we have 5 zombies peeking their head up over the ridge there. We're gonna knock down all 5, hopefully. And then double tap the torso on the right. That's 9 shots. I mentioned I have 10. Allie gave me an extra obstacle this time. Clear out at 40 yards is an 8-inch steel gong. I missed the mothership. You want to tell our nice viewers what you're actually doing with the High Point? Because this is not my steel challenge.
Oh, we're doing a little different today. We've got bowling pins and shaving cream for targets. I've got 6 bowling pins and 1 can of shaving cream. Hopefully I'll hit them all.
Because I have to clean it up and replace the shaving cream that she keeps blowing up. Here you go, Giggly. Oh yeah, we must get the sleeves done. All right, again, loaded, chambered, safety on. Oh!
Woo!
Wow, those were cartwheeling.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you taught bowling pins how to do flips. We got to shoot it. We didn't get to shoot it as much as we wanted to, but we still shot it a lot. We're gonna talk about it. We have a scale, so we're gonna start off with comfort of grip. I actually like the pistol grip. It's comfortable and fits for my hand. The forend, the stock here, there's an accessory rail on the bottom, but that's also where your support hand goes. And it's not as comfortable as I would like it. The shoulder stock works fine, but overall it's acceptable and comfortable, but not astonishing where you're just kind of, ooh, I really like this. So I'm giving this a 3.
Being new to rifles and shooting this gun for the first time and not having a lot of background in rifles, it just seemed standard to me. I could hold it, it was comfortable, it wasn't exceptionally comfortable, it wasn't awkward necessarily, it just seemed to be what a rifle's supposed to be, so I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Let's talk about balance. And this rifle, for all that it's short and kind of stocky, moves pretty well. Not great instinctive, but you bring it up and then set it back just slightly to set into your shoulder, and it seems to work really well for a 9mm carbine. So I gave it a 3 for that as well.
Being new to rifles, that holding it was fine. It was exactly what I expected. Going from down to up was still a little awkward for me, but I'm gonna tap that out to inexperience. Once I have a little more experience under my belt, I feel I can rate this a little bit better. But for now, I'm just gonna call it industry standard. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
We're talking about sights now, as is the way the rifle comes from the factory. The target sights, they're good sights. They work fine, and I would have given it a 3. With the red dot on it, I'm giving it a 4. It's really simple. You put the red dot on what you're aiming at, and it's set at 25 yards, so you adjust it a little bit for closer. But what you see is what you get. You put the dot on it, you pull the trigger.
We did shoot this on our handgun course, and so for the close range, like the 7 yard? For the 7 yard, it did shoot a little lower than where the dot was, but I think that's just because it's not meant for close quarters. You know, if the enemy gets that close, pull out your handgun at that point. But I did really enjoy the sights on this, and I love the red dot, so I gave it a 4 as well.
Let's talk about the trigger. It's nothing exceptional, but it works every time, and it's a good tactile. It doesn't send off rounds it's not supposed to. So I like the trigger actually maybe a little better than some other people do, and so I gave it a solid 3.
I did find the trigger to be as expected to be. It was a good trigger. Again, no misfires. Or firing when you weren't expecting it to. So there was a decent pull to it. It met my expectations. So 3.
Let's talk about the action. The charging handle here is it's basically a bolt with a slightly contoured piece added to it that you grab, rack, and it does its job and it works fine, but it's uncomfortable and it's kind of a hard snag, and so it's actually a little bit below what I would consider industry standard on this, and I'm going to give it a 2.
For me, this was the first time I've shot bolt action, and it met my expectation of what a bolt action is, of just watching movies or just hearing the difference between this is what a lever action is, this is what a pump rifle is. You know, it met my expectation. Now, if I had to rack that every time, if it wasn't like a semi-auto or whatever, if I had to do that every time, like with a lever action, I wouldn't like it, because again, yeah, it's uncomfortable to pull, but if you only have to pull it once and then it's just bam, 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 I think it's fine, so I gave it a 3.
Let's talk about perceived recoil. This does a really good job, and I'm not sure it's all in camera, but if you look at the back end of the stock, this is actually spring mounted. I'm not at a very good angle, but you see how that compresses? It's spring mounted, so it absorbs even more of the recoil, where you shoot and you feel the recoil pulse push into your shoulder, but where you're expecting it to be a little bit into your shoulder, all of a sudden, as it gets there, you're feeling the rifle move and a little bit of that compression. So it eats up the recoil even more and lets you stay on target for doing multiple shots. So props for what seems like it's unnecessary for a 9mm, but at the same time, it's helpful. I liked it a lot. I gave it a 4.
I would have to agree, where there was very little recoil that I could feel. And again, it could be because of that. It could be because it's just a longer gun and there's more to compensate to catch the recoil. But it felt nice shooting this gun. I didn't have to worry about the recoil, honestly, because it wasn't something that was brought to my attention, so to speak. It was just, I'm pointing and shooting this gun, and that was really nice. So I gave it a 4 as well.
Well, let's talk about accuracy. This is not a pinpoint shooter where you're going to give it a 5 because it puts all the rounds in one hole at 100 yards. What it is a practical shooting rifle that expects handgun accuracy out to a further distance. And in that, this rifle works fabulously well for what it is. It's a 9mm carbine that is easy to point and shoot and put rounds in a 3-inch circle, which for self-defense situations, that's more than adequate. And your ability to put round after round after round in that group, this accomplishes that with amazing ease. I'm giving it a 4 on accuracy.
Granted, I have not got to shoot a rifle at really long ranges, because we did run this through the handgun course, so it'll be fun in the future to get to shoot longer courses with the rifles. But for the short range, I actually shot it really accurately, even though not all of them went on the bullseye. I think I only missed one on the paper course. And on the specialty course, I hit every single one. So for accuracy, I gotta give it a 5.
Let's talk about reliability. This gun eats every type of ammo, and it doesn't matter whether it's full metal jacket or jacketed hollow points, whether it's regular target ammo, whether it's plus P or plus P plus ammo. It eats all of it effortlessly. It's like Pac-Man gone wild. It's reliable, it cycles, it functions. I trust my life with it, and that's kind of scary considering the price, which we'll get to in a moment. But for reliability with this gun, I gave it a 5.
I would have to agree. This gun seems very reliable, especially with the red dot. It seems like you can't miss. And that if you need to use this to knock down somebody, an intruder, or a zombie coming at you, or whatever, that this would be a gun that you could rely on every single time. It's like in Call of Duty where you have to keep picking up the gun. He's like, you know, if you pick this gun up, it's gonna work. And if it runs out of ammo, pick up another one. It's gonna work. So 5.
Call of Duty, wow. All right, so let's tally this up. If you add them up, I gave this carbine a 28.
And my score comes out to a 30.
I almost feel like a 28's too low, and there's going to be people going, you wanted to score this low like you did the high point handgun. Both of them have their place, and they both function and they work fine, and they're great economy firearms. The difference between the high point handgun though and the high point carbine, this literally is something that I would use and carry with me in a self-defense situation, regardless of whether or not there's sexier looking toys out there or better ones that are a lot more expensive. The MSRP on this is $315. You can find these at gun shows for around $260, $275.
Wow.
For the money, it is my considered belief you can't go wrong by having one of these in your home. And to be honest with you, it's really fun to shoot too. So you're combining a lot of things here.
Great.
And it looks like a Planet of the Apes gun.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you enjoyed this video, point those crosshairs at the like button down below. And make sure to stay tuned for more reviews coming next week. See you then.